When we have any property that's got tremendous amount of relief in the topography, in order to level it off, the best way to do that is through the use of retaining walls. There are a lot of different products that can be used in retaining walls, ranging from timber to poured-in-place concrete to these, which are a filled stone. What we can't see in this particular retaining wall is whether or not there's any dead men or tiebacks going back up against into the wall. But what we can see is this particular wall is stacked, and it's stacked in a format where it's leaning inward, not outward. The key is we want it inward so that it doesn't topple forward. And so as you're doing your inspection of the retaining wall, the key is it plumb, is it level, is it square, and is it straight? And so I'm watching these lines for straightness, right? And levelness. If all of a sudden it's dipping up and dipping down, then that would tell us we've got some movement. Then on top of that, I want to make sure that it's uniform. It doesn't have one of these courses that's set in much farther than a different course would be. And so we want to watch for that. And then on top of it, when you look at the top of the retaining wall, you want to make sure the vegetation is level. If all of a sudden behind this retaining wall, I've got a big divot, a dip, and maybe that dip could have been put in there if it's uniform the whole length as a swale, but most of the time they're not. Most of the time they're a level surface back there, and what we don't want is a dip, because the dip would be a sloughing, they call it, or a settlement in the soil, and that erosion is coming out from somewhere. So again, as we look at retaining walls, have they moved? Is the move active? Are they level? Those are the key takeaways as you look at these retaining walls. But it's very important that you do look at retaining walls during your exterior inspection.